This is to be played only in the event of my death by assassination. I've given some strong and long and considerable thought to this. I fully realize that a person who stands for what I stand for, an activist, gay activist, becomes the target or the potential target for somebody who is insecure, terrified, afraid, or very disturbed themselves. And knowing that I could be assassinated at any moment, at any time, I feel it's important that some people know my thoughts. If I was to be shot and killed, I feel it's important that some people know my thoughts. I have never considered myself a candidate. I have always considered myself part of a movement, part of the gay movement. I wish I had time to explain everything I did. Almost everything was done in the eyes of the gay movement. I wish I had time to explain it.
Yeah, you did.
Great. How are you? Hi.
You guys know each other?
Doing it in his name.
Oh no, you're too far away from here.
Lots of good things. Sorry. No, that's really
Marie, I feel that every day I'm here. I'm so lucky to be the mayor of the city. Also know that the foundation was set many years ago when Supervisor Bill ran. He changed things and he made conditions upon which someone like me to actually be appointed to be mayor. So I am thankful every day that he not only did the work that he did, advocated the work that he did, but also sacrificed to make the foundation for diversity be so much a part of the way we handle the city, the way we live. So I just want to thank everyone here. Jose, Cisneros here, our treasurer as well, joined us. But really thank everyone here has been part of this movement. The movement is still strong. There's so much work to be done. But the foundation's always been here that diversity will continue to stay because it's a part of our fabric in the city. Diego Gascon's here as well. Thank you, George.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you very much to the Castro community for being so much a part of this history. And again, I am so thankful to meet mayor, I'm very, very lucky, and I know that my appointment is really in part for the history that Harvey Milk made for the city. Thank you very much.
I want to just really emphasize what an amazing job Mayor Lee is doing for the city and also for our community. He was at the opening of the LGBT History Museum on 18th Street. He's here today. He really gets it and feels it inside. He's a true ally to our community, so thank you, Mayor Lee. And I also, as we were walking up here, I thought of Harvey again because there was some dog food. Someone violated Harvey's law.
Of course you know that was state. That was my question.
So I went to, we were really, it was great that we were able to hear from Harvey's friends and family at the plaza now. Of course, Harvey spawned an entire generation of LGBT leadership in this city, and so I really want to recognize and invite up Senator Mark Leno.
Thank you, Scott. Mayor, thank you so much for joining us. Happy birthday, Castro!
Yay!
You know, when we first set out to create Harvey Milk Day every May 22nd, it is now in California statute that the governor of the state must proclaim May 22nd to be Harvey Milk Day. It's not officially a holiday because a holiday gives state workers a day off, and that costs money, and the state hasn't got any money. So it's actually a day of special significance. And we had a day of special significance for California teachers. We already had a day of special significance for hoppies, and we thought it was appropriate to have a day of special significance for Harvey Milk. And I want to put into context Harvey's life and his work, going back 35, 40 years when he first ran for public office. A very different time. It's a stretch of the imagination to remember what it was like. So when Harvey was out on the street corner running for supervisor as an openly gay man in 1973 and telling everyone the power of coming out and telling their story and being who we are, how that would end the civil rights movement overnight, because of course, by definition, we are in every family, in every community, in every profession, we are everywhere. But it wasn't so easy at that time, and for some it's still not easy today. It was just a year earlier that the American Psychiatric Association finally removed homosexuality from its list of mental illnesses. And of course, it was still a felony in California for adults of the same sex to have consensual relations. That didn't change until Assemblyman Willie Brown successfully moved a bill in 1976, repealing what was known as the sodomy laws. And of course, it wasn't until 1999 that we finally added sexual orientation to our Fair Employment and Housing Act, finally making it illegal to discriminate on the basis of sexual orientation in housing and employment, and we weren't able to add gender identity expression until 2003. So for Harvey to say, come out wherever you are, was to say, come out and tell everyone that you've got a mental illness and that you're an outlaw. That's the kind of courage he had and the power of his talking about the truth of who he was. So we had first introduced this bill a couple of years ago, and with I was about to say not bipartisan support, a strictly party line vote. Unfortunately, the civil rights is not a partisan issue. In the state capital of California, LGBT civil rights is a strictly partisan issue. I don't know that we've ever gotten more than 1 or 2 Republican votes on any of the bills that we have moved to support and sponsorship of Equality California. And the same was true for Harvey Milk Day. Actually, I can tell you, Abel Maldonado did vote for Harvey Milk Day. He was the one Republican to vote for it. And so we got it to the governor's desk, and the governor vetoed it. And in his veto message, Governor Schwarzenegger said that he appreciated and recognized the great value of Harvey's work and all that he had done, but that it really should be continued to be celebrated in San Francisco, where it had its impact. The message being, keep it in San Francisco, kids. So, of course, not to be stopped at any turn, we reintroduced the bill the very next year, last year, 2 years ago, and moved it to the governor's desk again. And I was asked by so many reporters, Senator, what's different this year from last year? Why do you think you'll have a different outcome with the governor this time around? And I said, well, a couple of things have happened since he vetoed the bill last year, suggesting that Harvey's life was really just relative to San Francisco. For one, we now had an Academy Award-winning Hollywood feature-length film telling the whole world about Harvey's life. Universal story Harvey's life is. And then, of course, there was that little thing when President Barack Obama bestowed the highest civilian honor in the land, the Presidential Medal of Freedom, to Harvey Milk posthumously.
Yeah.
His nephew. Stuart and Ann and others at the White House that day. And Stuart, I'm glad you quoted the President in your remarks just a few minutes ago, because in describing Harvey and his life and work, the President used the words that his message was one of hope. Hope unashamed, hope unafraid. And I thought those were such a great choice of words on the President's part. And then our First Lady, Maria Shriver, decided she wanted to induct Harvey into the California Hall of Fame. This all happened within just a few months' time. When Stuart called and told me how excited he was that the First Lady wanted to do this, I said, Stuart, that's great news, but you, in your communications with her office, must be unequivocal that if they think that's going to be covered for them to veto the bill a second time, tell them no thank you. Stuart worked his magic. Harvey was inducted into the Hall of Fame, and the governor signed the bill. This is just what we had in mind when we did move this bill, reminding ourselves and the community and the broader community of the importance of Harvey's unstoppable, tireless commitment, dedication, tenacity in defense of the respect, of dignity, and validation of all human life. He fought for seniors, and he fought for those in the disability community. He fought for working men and women. He fought for pedestrian safety. He fought for renters. He fought for everybody. This was much broader than the LGBT civil rights movement. And that's why there's so much attraction to it. So thank you. I want to recognize a good friend from San Diego, Nicole Murray. Where are you? Nicole is responsible for putting together a little event in San Diego, a breakfast for Harvey Milk every May 22nd. I think they only got about 1,000 people there this year. Thank you, Scott.
Okay. We'll have the sound system up in a second. And by the way, thank you to Liam here and to John Wood for and I also want to acknowledge the president of our Labor Council, Mike Casey, is here. So next I want to invite out my predecessor representing this district on the board, my friend Bevan Dempsey.
Hey everybody, I just want to reflect on some contemporary political things, and Scott acknowledged Mike Casey, and I want to say last night, many of us, I see Zoe is here, I went to the National Center for Lesbian Rights dinner, and I was in the room beforehand, and City Council President from New York, Christine Quinn, who's running for mayor in 2013, was there, and Anise Parker's partner, the mayor of Houston, her first lady was there, and there was a gay man standing next to me, and he had a Local 2 button on. And I looked at him and I said, I'm so happy to be here in the Marriott, a hotel that has reached its agreement with Local 2. And by going to a hotel that reaches that agreement, I know that they're trying to make money, but they recognize that people need health care and people deserve to have a living wage. And so I just want to tip my hat. Daniel's who I met, a gay man who worked at that hotel. The diversity of the Local 2 membership probably exceeds that of any labor organization in San Francisco. But I do want to associate myself and say that I think it is important that we go to the events and that we support those hotels that recognize and reach an agreement with Local 2. And I'm going to call the Hyatt tomorrow, okay? I also just want to say, and I know, I've had a rocky relationship briefly with HRC. I know they feel it's rocky with me a little bit. I made a few enemies because a couple of years back, I didn't go to an HRC dinner around some of the issues with the Employment Non-Discrimination Act. And I don't think you can be a San Franciscan and not recognize, because we're so blessed to have transgender people in our lives, throughout our lives. My child, my co-parent. It's just so beautiful that that's what San Francisco is. And I think for any of us, it just was a line in the sand to say we can't leave people behind in a piece of civil rights legislation. And so I took some heat, and yeah, I had a pizza party at my house with the demonstrators. I'll fess up to it, and we sat up till 2 in the morning. We drank beer and partied, and you know what? I'll own that. But I will say that over the past year, I have worked with the Human Rights Campaign, particularly around Target Corporation. And it has been extremely challenging because the truth is there are people of goodwill and a lot of queers that work for Target that are really working within that company to try and get them to do the right thing. It's not always so simple. But what I want to acknowledge HRC for doing is that when it came to light that they had given that $150,000 to that horrible person, Tom Emmer, who so much wanted to create a climate in which young people would think it would be better to take their lives than to live openly gay, and he should live with that shame for the rest of his life. But what HRC did was buy a full-page ad in that newspaper and condemn that action and help with all the bloggers and all the people that brought that situation to light. I want to acknowledge Fred Sines is here, and more than anybody I've worked with at HRC, he fought that fight and continues to fight that fight. And I want to say we have got to bind ourselves together, and I thank you for that. And then I just want to say, is Sean Chaffin here? Is Sean Chaffin? Oh my God. All right, come stand over here, baby. All right, well, not just because he's fine. You guys know me so well, golly. But Sean is the person who is a huge Giants fan. We're going for a sweep today against the, oh yeah, he says, wow. But more than that, Sean was a fan that said that he believed that the Giants should take on the It Gets Better. And he posted it on Facebook. Close to 5,000 people joined him. I called him, I said, babe, I'm going to call them. I kind of know them. I got to talk to them. I can't put my name on a petition. And I called through, and they all knew. I'll tell you this much. They all knew that Sean had mobilized thousands of people. And guess what? The Giants are making the first team, the world champions, are making an It Gets Better video. Woo! More than anything on Harvey Milk Day, each of us can make a difference. Each of us can make something happen. I am so fortunate. There are great people running for mayor. It's a ranked choice environment, so you get to vote for lots of people. And all I promise you is that as one gay man, I will try and be respectful. I will do my best to love this city. I will do my best to respect that we have to all come together in this city, not to divide one another. I am so honored to go to Chinatown, and yesterday I was in the Bayview, and go to the Mission, and hopefully with all these candidates and all this interest, it's good for the city, and I will do my best. God bless you. Thank you so much.